the Big Show kind of vibes. Um, they give you some jitters. They give you not like jitters, but they give you some sort of like anxiousness while you're walking up to the cage. It always feels different than just being in a regional show because you're on national television. Everybody's watching. Everybody's critiquing, and but I think that after being in it 2 times in a row now, and from probably having the worst outcome in my first fight to not having the best outcome in my second, it can only go up, and
The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. Your opponent, right? He posted on Facebook that something's up with the fight. So I was thinking, like, man, is something going on? Like, did someone pull out? What happened? What is your reaction to that post?
that's the first time I've seen it.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe he got injured. I'm not sure exactly what's going on his end. I know my end is everything is good.
Mhm.
We don't have any injuries. We got nothing coming up. Nothing. Everything on our light and on our side's green. So
Mhm.
very surprising to see that. I did hit up my management team, and they were they were thrown off too. So they don't know what's going on because on our end everything is good to go with the fight.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear, man. And just just from looking him up, I mean, what were you able to assess about your opponent?
I know he had some boxing fights. So I know he has some decent boxing. I know he played some college ball from not football, from what I understand. So he's gonna have some power. He's gonna have strength. Majority of his fights are at 185. Some at 170. I know his last fight was at 170 for the Contender Series, where he got that crazy kind of weird win. But win's a win no matter what. So he's got kind of those attributes: strength, power. But he's also dropping to one weight class, lower than he has ever done in his career. He's never done a 155, so that's a 15 extra pounds. And you know how the fight game is, man. It's not easy to cut 15 extra pounds like nothing. I did see his post after I saw that post though that you had showed me. I'd just taken a look at his media, and I know I saw that he was like 6 days ago. He had posted at the gym that he's still cutting down from 195. So that's a lot of weight. And that shit does have a toll on your body. So hopefully nothing is going on over there with his, and I hope everything's healthy and good to go because I do want to, I want to get this fight going. Everything's already signed. Everything is on top of having a new camp and a bunch of new things that I've added to my camp. I'm very excited and I was looking forward to this fight. So hopefully it's still going. Because I'm totally lost, but regardless, I'm still going to get ready for a fight because I'm sure they'll find someone to get a replacement or something if that's the case.
That's the interesting part about him is that, man, he fought at middleweight on the regional scene, and then he dropped down to 170 on the Contender Series, and now he's dropping down to 155. It's like, man, he's just dropping it, dropping it, dropping. Middleweight to lightweight. That's like 30
That's
pounds right
it.
there, right? That's crazy to me.
Uh, that's a yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. It's 30 extra pounds. And he's never fought at 155, so this is his first fight. I was looking at his record, looking at his fights in the past, and he majority of his fights are 185, 170, man. So it's a very interesting play that he's trying to do. I know that he was saying he wants to be a double champ, so and I got to retain my contract, and I got to get my first dub. So it's a lot at stake here, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully he makes weight, and hopefully everything's healthy.
What are your thoughts on opponents missing weight? Some fighters think like, yeah, they miss weight, by a couple pounds. I take part of their money and beat their ass and it's all good. Or are you like one of those guys that are like, you have to make weight to fight?
I mean, we're in a professional league, man. We're in the UFC. We should not be missing weight. I mean, that the contract you sign it at is literally stated on a piece of paper, black and white. In my opinion, you should always make weight. There's no reason not to make weight, even if it's not a title fight. Especially with the title fight too. But yeah, man, I think that you should absolutely make weight. There's no reason why you shouldn't. When you signed that paper, that's what it said. That's what you stated that you were going to be a professional about making weight, and I'm totally down to take some money. I wish it was a bigger percentage of purse, in my opinion, if when guys don't make weight, just because it's kind of a disrespect, as the other fighter. It's like, come on, man, like we both signed it. We knew what the terms were. There's no need not to for it not to happen.
Do you look at it as like a form of cheating? Some people say that, right? Like if it's like some people deliberately like go in there, not think. Like we saw the whole Hamzat Chimaev
Mhm.
situation, right, with that pay per view.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
didn't even make weight, and he didn't even feel sorry about it.
Yeah, I think when you're coming that heavy though, I mean, 2 pounds, and if they're fucking just completely depleted, it's a little bit of a different story. They're trying to make weight, but, obviously something in their camp didn't go right, diet, whatever it was, malnutrition, but if you're coming in over like 10 pounds, man, you just truly don't give a shit. And that is more for an advantage because the weight you're going to gain back the next day is going to be twice as much as the fighter that actually made weight. I normally go up to like 170, 167 the next day. If I'm walking 10 pounds heavier, I'll probably be at 180, 185, the next day after that, if that were the case. So it's like, it's a lot of weight, man. And that makes a difference in our fights.
2022, man, it was a year of challenges for you. You had the injury, and then you had the fight with Terrence McKinney. Take us through the mindset you have entering 2023 with everything that happened throughout that year.
A lot of it was some tough lessons, unfortunate happenings. But the only thing I could really take away from not having the best year is just to make the better one for the next one. Just keep looking forward. We're in a game of ups and downs, and it's not always going to be up. So, to me, it's just concentrating on this next fight. Don't worry about the past. Let that be that, and just keep constantly improving. Just keeping my mindset, my mentality on top of the game because I'm still under contract and I'm still a professional fighter at the end of the day, no matter what, whether I win or lose.
Has that always been a mindset for you throughout the years, or have you learned to kind of form this mindset?
It's more of a forum. Going into this camp, like I said, I've been changing a lot of stuff. I did get a mental coach to help me, considering how going on two loss streak on the biggest stage, to me, it hurt pretty, that one hurt a lot. And, we're athletes, but at the same time, we're also human, man. So we're gonna have some feelings that we got to get through, and we got to get through some bumps in the road. And I think having a mental coach has definitely shaped my mind and my mentality into an even better place than it was before.
What made you decide to get a mental coach? Like, was it somebody that came to you and said, like, maybe you should consider this, or is this something that you've been considering for a while?
No, it's actually I've never been one for it. My management team actually had reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, man," because I had told them, about how I was feeling about my previous fights. Because my manager and I talk, where it's like a family, and so they care about our well being as fighters. You know what I mean? As they should. They're our management team. Uh, so he had told me he reached out, my manager, and was just like, "Hey, man, we have this mental coach. I know you've never been really for it," and kind of just went from there. And then, I I kind of just went for it, and it was kind of like I did it for like a month and a half, and then I stopped doing it, and then I got another fight, and then I just restarted again. And then my manager was like, "Hey, man, you should just keep trying it, see how it goes. If you don't like it after this camp, then you could just not let it do it, but just give it a chance." So I've been giving it a chance. It's been helping a lot, and it has made a difference in my mentality and the way I think and the way I'm approaching fights, and getting my mind in my fight mentality ready for the fight. It's not just going training and fighting. It's having the right mind and the mentality going into the fight.
What other changes have you made for training camp?
I'm currently training at CMMA over with Chad George, Josh Barnett, David Waters is the wrestling coach. So I've been over there. A lot of amazing guys over there, man. It's a big team, and they've been helping me a lot for this camp. I'm still training with Fight Science. I'm still with Fight Science, but I just wanted to change it up this camp and just do some adjustments and just something that's going to help improve myself. And it's like I said, man, new camp. I had to do new things after two losses in a row. I've never had two losses in a row. So that's why it was more of like, all right, I got to do something. I got to change something in my lifestyle of preparing for a fight. And CMMA has welcomed me with open arms, and giving me some of the best work I've had in the past few years. Considering at the level of guys that are in there.
Yeah, it's great to see that, instead of just making a complete shift or complete change, that you have a mix of things. Like you have your team, your normal team, and then you have
Mhm.
like I guess an addition to the camp rather than just flipping everything around, because that could be overwhelming for somebody.
Yeah, it can be, and it was at first. I feel like you feel like a stranger on someone else's gym, you know. But you know, I know a lot of those guys. We all competed in in, you know, in the regional shows together. You know, I've seen all of them, so it's cool, man. And they've, you know, it's I'm a high level five, man. So you know, they were more than happy to have me in there and help them with their camps too. And I don't plan on leaving the gym. You know, it's just going to be a new addition to what I do, and it's just going to be more work, man. The more work, the better. You know, while I can.
There's a few guys having fights coming up, right? At CMMA.
Yeah. So I know Victor Henry. He's going to be fighting in March, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and you know, there's so many fights in that team, man. There's like I think like to like the next couple months, is basically the whole team's has something set up for the fight for their fights, whether it's amateur or pro. Taco, just Chris Ward Taco Padilla. He just had his fight and he won in dominant fashion. Um, you know, and a bunch of fights just happened over at Up Next. So it was pretty cool, man. I like the energy and I like the vibes that this team is bringing. Everybody's just hungry.
Yeah, can you describe the environment a little bit? Like when you step in now, with all the fights that are happening, all the fights that people are being prepared for.
You know, it's just it's a champion mindset. You know, where we all want to be champs, we all want to be the best, and we're only going to help each other. So there's no, you know, there's no stubbornness, there's no hard heads, there's no people trying to be the best in the room. It's just people that are just trying to learn and constantly, you know, if you're messing up and you don't see it, your teammate usually, you know, one of my teammates will just be like, "Hey, man, you know, just so you know, you're doing this, you should be doing this, you know," and then it's something to keep in mind, you know. You could train with someone all day, but if they don't help you fix your errors, you know, you're not going to go much farther than what you are. You're just going to keep doing the repetitive things. And this team, the guys in there, have helped me significantly a lot in my grappling and the way I go into my grappling exchanges and my scrambles.
I get a different vibe from you, man. We've done a couple of interviews, but this version of you is different. Like I feel it through the screen when you like answer the questions. For real, like it's different. Do you feel like every day you feel like a different person like during this camp, or is it just like it's just the same? I'm just different today.
No, man. It's just I think this camp has really just changed the way I think. You know, I started meditating a lot, so that's actually been that's been really cool, and it's been helping me kind of just relax my mind at all times. You know, keep my mind relaxed and keeping it ready for fight. Uh, I think that just because the way things are going in my camp is just the confidence is really high, and I just look forward to just competing again and still having the opportunity. You know, like I could have easily probably been dropped in after my last fight, but you know, I had two hard fights, and UFC's giving me another test, and I'm just willing to take it. And yeah, man, I am a lot different mentally. I think I'm just more. How do I put it? I'm just.
Zen.
I guess it's just yeah, just more zen out. You know, I'm just to have more confidence and in everything that I do, and a lot of things that I've changed in just my day to day lifestyle, and more training.
Your camp and well, you're from Southern California, and it's been pretty crazy out there lately with all the stuff that's been happening, man. Has that affected you or anyone around you?
As far as like what do you mean?
Like the
Sorry.
shootings and stuff, man. It's just like it's been
Oh, oh no, no. You know what? Thank God. You know, but no, nothing has really
yeah.
been not no one that I know.
Mhm.
Um, you know, uh, yeah, it's just I think it's just been a little bit out of my area because I'm like more towards the beach, and I feel like a lot of this stuff happens just usually like deep in LA or just outside
Oh
LA.
man.
You know, those different little like kind of cities. In Torrance, you don't really have that craziness going on for the most part. You know, hopefully it doesn't. Knock on wood,
Yeah.
and we can just keep the you know the sanity over here because there is a lot going on for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, man. And with all the changes and the confidence and everything that's going on, man, what do you see like out of yourself in this fight coming up?
You know, I see complete domination, man. I think that he's going to be a little surprised about you know, the way I'm going to come into this fight, and he's probably going to, and I'm going to just you know wear him down. I'm going to just I'm just going to let him know, you know, welcome to the UFC the way I was welcomed, you know, and I'm gonna go in there and just be violent, be nasty, and just give it my all. So I don't expect anything short of a win. So you know, I expect a finish, no matter what. Doesn't matter what round, but I definitely am gonna finish this guy, without a doubt in my mind.
your 2 fights in the UFC, man, you faced back-to-back killers, dude. Like, you were thrown into the fire. Let's just say it like that. You were thrown into the fire and, you could take a lot away from those experiences. What is there anything, like, in particular from those 2 fight weeks that you took away and now you could take it into this fight?
Um, I guess it's like that big the big show kind of vibes. Um, they give you some jitters. They give you not like jitters, but they give you some sort of like anxiousness while you're walking up to the cage. It always feels different than just being in a regional show, because you're on national television, everybody's watching, everybody's critiquing, and but I think that after being in it 2 times in a row now, and from probably having the worst outcome in my first fight to not having the best outcome in my second, it's can only go up, and the biggest thing I could really take away is just I'm not going to be nervous, I'm not going to be anxious or anything like that. I'm prepared for all aspects. We're doing everything on our end to prepare me for every aspect of the fighting, from walking to the cage to being in the cage before the fight to the walk to the face-offs. Everything we're doing is we're doing it in a very smart way, and it's going to help me stay relaxed, and it's not going to be a foreign feeling. It's just going to be all natural.
The apex. It's not a crowd. There's a little crowd, right? But you can still
Yeah.
hear everything, and like you can hear the commentators. Like how weird is that?
I've always actually liked the Apex because it always it brought me back to, like, when I would get into street fights, and it feels like kind of like almost like a street fight. You have like a small crowd, but it's just loud enough, and you can hear all the hits, the punches, the kicks. You can hear your opponent breathe. Which can make a big difference. You see your opponent gets tired and you start breathing hard, then you can start really working them. But I like it, man. I haven't had the best luck, but we're gonna change that, and we're gonna start owning these dubs.
Your fight, February 25th, UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. Go in the description, download the AllStar app. Thank you, Eric, man, so much for the time. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see 2.0, like people like to say, 2.0. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you having me in here again, man. We'll definitely be talking soon, and we'll definitely talk again after I get this next up.